Welcome to the CUNY-NYSIEB online series, Presentations for Educators of Emerging Bilinguals. In this section, we're going to look at part 1 of the Translanguaging guide. We'll review that section, the part 1, and then we'll learn about fundamental elements of translanguaging in the classroom. It's important to note that these are not necessarily strategies, but they are ways of setting up the stage in your school and in your classroom. In this section of part 1, we're going to explore multilingual ecology. We're looking at two essential questions. How can we create a classroom and a school environment that celebrates students' home languages and cultures? How can we raise all students' awareness of the different languages and scripts in their communities? And we're going to be doing this through 4 different strategies. Creating a culturally relevant learning environment, creating a multilingual learning environment, using language portfolios, and doing a community study. In the presentation that we have, you can see 2 pictures that give you examples of what you might find in the guide. The first image shows the students of a school and where they come from, and they give you a general idea of the different countries that are represented in the school community. The second image shows a mural that was created in one of the schools to say hello and welcome the students in the schools and the parents using the languages that are also part of the school community. The second part of this section is the instructional foundations. And the essential questions for this section are: how can we design instruction that promotes translanguaging? And how can we make space for students to utilize their multiple languages to negotiate academic content? There are 3 translanguaging strategies that are featured in this section: multilingual language objectives, integrated instruction, and designing units around multilingual culminating products. The example that you see on the screen is an example of designing units around multilingual culminating products. In this example, a student is using Spanish and English to show what she has learned about a particular unit of study in her classroom. We're also going to be looking at collaborative work, thinking about how can we design collaborative work that encourages the students to use both their home languages and English to make meaning, and how can multilingual collaborative work build students' listening and speaking skills. The translanguaging strategies that are featured in this section are multilingual collaborative work in the content areas on page 62, multilingual collaborative work thinking about reading groups in page 68, and multilingual writing partners in page 72, and multilingual reading partners in page 76. The last part of this section is translanguaging resources, and there are a number of websites that we refer to in the translanguaging guide that you can explore. The essential questions for this section are: how can we use resources in students' home languages for each genre or topic of that they are studying? And how can we help emerging bilinguals develop background and content knowledge? Also, we're looking at how can multilingual resources build students' listening and reading skills. Some of the resources that we're using are multilingual text, multilingual listening center, bilingual dictionaries, and picture dictionaries, depending on the age group that you're working with. If they're older students, you would be using bilingual dictionaries. If they're younger students, you might be using picture dictionaries. And lastly, internet as a multilingual resource. And you'll be able to find a number of different websites that you can use in your classroom, depending on the age of your students. Now that we explored part 1 of the guide, we're going to ask you to do an activity. You'll find the handout for this activity on our website. With a partner, with a small group, choose one strategy in part 1 of the guide, take notes using the Jigsaw handout, and then share what you find with the rest of the group as with your partner. We will continue to use a similar strategy after section 2 and 3 of the guide.